slump, so I want you guys to tune in. It's going to be good. I'm coming at you with a lot of information for this next part, and I think it's going to be really powerful if you'll tune in. Quick question, how many of you guys want to grow? Woo! 3 people? Yeah. Shit, wake up, guys. Do you guys want to grow? What the fuck? Okay, cool. We're going to talk a little bit today about elevating your close ratio, and I have a lot to say. If you've got some notes or note-taking device, you may have that ready because it's gonna come at you really hard. Really quick, just gonna go really fast. This is the multi-op track. How many people do you have running in your multi-op? Simple answers, just a number, really fast. Let's go.
7, 13, 8, 5, 2, 8, 4, 3, 2,
Back.
13,
13.
5, 8, 4,
8,
6, 2, 2,
23, 8,
14, 26,
13.
10.
Dang, awesome. We got all over the place. Everybody's from 2 all the way up to 23. That's insane. So I love it. I love that we have all these, and the thing is, like, they classify this the multi-op track, but the fact of the matter is the people who are operating at 2 is a different ballgame from operating at 2 than 23. And the people who are running, 16 and up, you guys know that, right? Everybody nod their head like, oh yeah, that's a different ballgame. So I want to talk a little bit today about elevating your close ratio. And before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about my why. Click the clicker. Try it again.
Oh,
No.
my bad.
Bingo, I want to talk about my why. So I believe in inspiring people to perform their best, to actually reach heights that they never had before. Actually, the way I like to say is I like to inspire people to let their light out brighter and hotter and affect the world around them. And so I'm up here to speak to you guys to do that today. And I want to say something else. I believe that every one of you guys in the room have the power to be the most sought after company in your area, hands down. The only question that remains is, will you be? That's up to you. And we're talking a little bit about how we can do that. And there's a lot of different avenues. I love the panel we just had a couple of seconds ago because they were talking about all kinds of different things that are really important. Today we're going to specify talking about the sales process. And specifically on the sales process, I want to tell you 3 big things that I think we're going to look at. 1, learn your client. 2, clarify your why. And 3, systematize your process. If you can do these 3 things, I guarantee you'll see your sales process increase dramatically. Really quick, I want to tell you who I am. My name is Broc. I'm the owner of Elevate Entertainment. We're located in Springfield, Missouri, and I have kind of a little bit of a crazy story. I'm going to give you the very short version. I've been a DJ 17 years now, 15 in events, 2 on the radio, which I will never go back to, thank the Lord. So event DJing has been my thing. I've been all over the country, now internationally DJing. I've loved every second of it. And I have kind of a funny story. I actually used to work for a larger company, had a lot of success with them, became their #1 DJ in the company, and ended up becoming the national trainer as well. And what's funny is if you met me back then, it wasn't like a big deal to me. It wasn't important to me because I never, back then, I couldn't wrap my mind around the idea of making DJing a career. Like being a lawyer is a career, being a nurse is a career, being a DJ is what you do on the weekends to get through college. That's how I had it in my mind, and thank the Lord that finally got checked one day when a bride called me and asked me to fly out to New Hampshire to DJ her wedding, which was kind of cool. This was 2012. It was before I knew destination anything was a thing, so much less destination DJing. So she flew me out, paid a pretty penny to have me there. She said it was going to be at a lodge. I thought some swanky mountain dope lodge, and I pulled up to the address on file, and it was this hole-in-the-wall Elks Lodge. I will never forget that moment. Like, I was so confused. I remember pulling up and being like, this gotta be wrong. Like, this can't be it. So I'm like looking, trying to figure out, maybe this put in the wrong address, maybe took in the wrong lodge. And that's not true. This was it. So like the best I could figure was, okay, maybe they spent all their money inside. Maybe nobody's gonna be hanging out outside anyway. So maybe the inside is just dope, it's fire. So I decided to go inside, and I was wrong. They had pulled picnic tables from a park that was sitting adjacent of this Elks Lodge Inn. And that was their seating for their guest picnic tables, guys. They didn't even pay for catering. The bride's aunt made all the food, and I'm sure they just bought the food. And then it was self-serve alcohol too. So like super like no budget. Like I had to have been 90+% of their budget. I never had the gall to ask, but I am certain that I was 90+% of their budget. And I'm not gonna lie, I walked through those doors. Thankfully, nobody was in there, but I wept. I wept. Like I shed a few man tears, not expecting that this was what I was walking into. This bride literally spent her entire budget to have me there. It was wild. So of course, I felt this pressure, 72 guests. I wanted to make it the most incredible experience of a life, and so I poured my heart and soul into that event, and we did. We had a great time, but that was the moment for me that everything clicked. Like, this is powerful. What I'm doing is powerful. It's more than just playing music. It's more than rocking a fun party on the weekends. It's doing something. Somebody took the most important day of their life and literally spent their money on one thing, and that was me. And so for me, that was the moment I knew I had to find out what this all meant. Ended up parting ways with the company I was working for, and just 5 years ago I started what is now Elevate Entertainment, actually just shy of 5 years. We turned 5 in January, and the story for Elevate gets kind of crazy. The story of Elevate gets kind of crazy because I thought starting Elevate, I thought I was just going to be just DJing me. It was just going to be me DJing maybe 30 or 40 events a year. I had a full-time day job as a career as a general manager of a software development company. It was cush. I was paid really well, great benefits, didn't think anything of it. I was very comfortable. And then Elevate blew up underneath me. The phone would not stop ringing, and I began to try to figure out how to expand it, but was really struggling with it. And finally, one day, I had to make the big jump-off decision. I went all in. Today, just shy of 5 years old, Elevate will complete this year over 700 events. We have 16 DJs on our team, and I'm excited to announce that this year will be the year we crest the 7-figure mark. So I'm super excited for that as well. All of those things have been nuts, and what makes that particularly crazy is that we're in a really small market, Springfield, Missouri. Anybody know how big Springfield, Missouri is? 250,000. We're in Phoenix, Arizona right now. Maricopa County's population is just shy of 5 million. So that means that where we are right now is 20 times the size of Springfield, Missouri. Springfield is tiny. I didn't know they had 700 events a year. I didn't. I had no idea. And not only that, but we actually also now own 8 brands to our name as well. These are all the brands that I manage, but I will say Elevate is for sure the bread and butter of what we do. A couple of things that are kind of unique about how we do our things. So our pricing starts at $1,100. That may sound very small, and it is on the coast. It's a game changer. But in the middle of the country, the GDP is way, way less. The average spend on a wedding in the middle of the country is only about $24,000. So it's a little bit more difficult to work with. The average expectation for a DJ when people walk up is usually $500 to $600 in our area. Our competitors usually charge right around $700. Our starting price is $1,100. That's our starting price. Our average spend actually ends up being right around $2,800, which is remarkable because I know the competing DJs in our area are barely breaking 1,000. They'll be doing great to 1,000. In our area, we're running 16 DJs. I think the nearest competitor is running maybe 4. We've absolutely taken over our market. And then just a sign of continued growth in case it was market specific. We just launched in Kansas City. We are looking next year already in the first full year of doing business to complete over 100 events in Kansas City in the first year. And so the uptake has been remarkable. And I have to credit that to our sales process. And I've worked arduously on our sales process. I feel like it's really powerful. I want to show you some statistics that kind of help you see that. Our total close statistics, every lead we get, we have a 64% chance we're going to close it. Every lead. That includes the leads coming in off any, major marketing platforms that sometimes give you not great leads. Every lead is included in this. Every lead is included in this. And I will tell you what makes up the bulk of the differentiation between these two: the leads that we reach out to and never follow up with us, never call us back, we end up never having a dialogue with at all. In fact, if we get to present to that client, if we get the opportunity to hop on a phone call, a Zoom, or sit down with them over coffee, our close ratio is 80%. 4 out of every 5 clients we talk to will close. It's been an incredible ride. Now, I want to talk about sales, because we're talking about sales. I want to define what that means. A lot of people think sales, they think of like a used car salesman, they think of all the gimmicks, the strategies, hard closing, the timeshare presentation where they do the crazy stuff. Glengarry and Ross is a thought that people think of when they talk about sales. Let me tell you something. Sales just means communicating your value. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. That is all sales is. This is my value. This is what I offer. Is it good for you or not? That's all sales is. We actually pride ourselves on being super low pressure. In fact, we don't even ask for the sale. we give them, at the end of our presentation, a sort of a menu of products that we and services that we have tweaked out based upon their specific needs. And they choose the items they want and let us know within a week. And that's how we get $2,800 as an average sale value in Springfield, Missouri. It's incredible. And so a couple of things I want to talk about, a couple of don'ts about selling. Don't start with your accolades. Man, I can't tell you how many times I hear people, they come up and they're like, oh yeah, we were voted this award, we were given this award, we've done this. Even me, like I have to be careful not to lead to a client by saying, oh, we do 700 events a year. That's an accolade. And you know what that is? That's not presenting value. That's not communicating value. What that's doing is communicating everyone else's perceived value. It's a support, but it's not actually communicating value. So don't start with accolades. Do put your accolades on your website. Actually, we have ours on our Contact Us page. So when they go to contact us, they do see them. So they know that they're there, but that's just a supporting deal. Don't explain what you do. You know what? They called you for a reason. They know that you're a DJ company, entertainment company, okay? So it's not a need to start by talking about what you do. Yeah, I'm a DJ, but I also MC. I'm gonna pick the music customized to your event. You wanna buy me? No, I don't. That didn't get me excited in any way, shape, or form. That got me zero excitement. And all I'm going to do now is compare. Can we save questions to the end?
Will we get a copy of the slideshow or no?
You might take pictures. Or actually, Brian, can we do that? Or is that
It's up to you.
Yeah. At the end, I'll give you my email address. Don't let me forget. I'll give you my email address. I'll send it to anybody who wants it. No problem. Don't start with that. In fact, instead, I recommend diving deeper into your company and your company's story, your brand story. Because you're going to find out later in this conversation your why is everything. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. And finally, I'm going to get flack on this one. I know I'm going to get flack on this one. Don't start with your price. I get so much hate about this one, but I'm big on it. I do believe in giving a range. I believe in that concept. But starting with price, if you start with price, you never gave yourself an opportunity to talk about value. That's not selling. Now, the only time that makes sense is if you're trying to be extremely limited. Like, you don't want to talk to 700 leads and you know you're going to get them, you only want to book for a year. That makes sense. Put your price out there, or at least put your starting point to scare them off. You kind of pre-qualifying at that point. That makes sense. But most of us here in the room are multi-ops. We're looking to increase our sales and have more bookings. And in that scenario, move away from talking about price. Here's a fun fact. I sent you those close ratios a second ago. And our company doesn't talk about price until you have a conversation with us. I won't give it to you. I give you a range, but I won't tell you our price. I won't do it. You have to have a conversation with me. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, this is a journey together. I'm committed to creating a really powerful experience for your event. If you're gonna take a few minutes out of your day to talk to me about what your needs are, what your vision is, then we don't need a relationship. You can go talk to the $750 DJ. He'll press play at your event. Congratulations. I'm not interested in that. I'm here to create a powerful experience for your guests. And for that, you can take a little time and have a conversation with me, and we can brainstorm whether or not this is going to be a great fit. That's where I'm going to give you pricing at that point. Like I said, you can do ranges. I think that's okay. I don't lead with those even there. I still hold out on ranges unless they specifically ask for them, but that's just our particular process. Instead, talk about yourself, talk about your value, talk about what you bring to the table, and then after you've created and communicated that value, then tell them, here's how we make sense of this in terms of price. And I know I'll get questions about that one afterwards. Totally cool. Bring them up. It's good. I'm ready. A quick question or a quick thought about culture. We are in what I call experience culture. Back in the day, it used to be all about big box stores. It used to be all about malls. People loved the mall. It was a thing. Malls are dying. Big box stores are struggling. Everybody's moving to online and everybody's moving to boutique. People want a very custom experience. People want a tailored experience. So you go to a client, and I want you to try this. You go to a client, you tell them, hey, I'm going to DJ your event. It's going to look like the three before it. It's going to look exactly the same. And I bet you they're going to go, no thanks, bye. That's not what people want. They want a powerful experience. And so we're an experience culture. And so as you know that, what you need to think about is that you're not a DJ. You're not a performer. You're not you're not a DJ company. You're an experience company. That's what you're creating. Now you're working in tandem with other vendors to do that. You're working in tandem with a wedding planner. You're working in tandem with caterer, etc., florals, all that stuff. But you are a key element in making sure that people lose themselves in that moment to enjoy a powerful experience. That's what you are. In fact, inside of our company, sometimes I call myself an experience architect because it gets me away from thinking about myself as a DJ, as an MC, as a person who says things on the mic and crafts music and curates music. That's not what I'm doing. I'm thinking broader than that. How do I cause people to look back on this moment as one of the greatest memories of their fucking life? How do I do that? That's what I want to know. All right, so the 3 steps. Learn your client. This one's really basic. If you're not doing this in the room, implement it now because you're missing out. Learn your client. One thing that means, you need to learn who your client is, first and foremost. DJ Mike Tech, he's not in the room, I don't think, but I was in a masterclass with him on Monday, and I loved it because he was talking. He was like, man, my client is bougie ratchet. And I loved it. He said on the cover of one of his profiles or on his website or something, he's like, yeah, I've got a picture of one of my brides crawling across the dance floor. And I literally have never, in 17 years of DJing, had a bride crawl across my dance floor. I was like, that is awesome. He knows who his client is. He's very specific. He's very dialed in to who his client is. You need to do the same. Your client is not everybody. Your client is not everybody. Find out who your client is. Figure that out. Know who they are, and then appeal to them. Craft everything in a way that you're appealing to them. In tandem with that, you also need to be asking a ton of questions. Find out about them. This is how I start every conversation. I spend the first 20 minutes of every sales conversation, maybe even more, just asking a bunch of questions. I want to get to know them. I want to know who you are. I want to hear your vision. I want to hear how you met. I want to hear your dog's name. I want to know what your guests are going to be like. I want to know everything. I want to know everything because you know what? I can't craft a very curated custom experience until I know everything about this client. So ask a ton of questions. Here's a slide picture op. Here are a bunch of questions I typically ask. You guys can feel free to take a photo. My favorite question is the first question. What do you want your guests to say about your event 6 months later? Everybody, when they get married, they get kind of like stuck. All they can see is the wedding. Like everything, nothing exists beyond the wedding. And so, but actually what they're looking for, truly what they're looking for is after the wedding, they want their guests to talk about it. That's why they're putting all the energy into it, right? And so what do you want them to say? Inevitably, when I ask this question, every time, 100% of the time, the first word out of their mouth is fun, every time. Guess what? That's why they call it an entertainment company, right? So yeah, I'll usually just smile and sit and wait, and then they keep going. And it's the words right after the word fun that are really important. Some of them will say, yeah, we want it to be really casual, relaxed. We want people to be comfortable, enjoying themselves. You know, if they want to dance, they can get up and dance, that's cool. But we want it to be mostly relatively chill. Well, you know what? What did they just tell me? First of all, they may have told me that I'm not the right DJ for them, depending on what their answer was. But they also told me, yeah, later on in the conversation, when I was going to present that really dope video of CO2 cannons and confetti machine, probably going to take that out because that's not for this client, right? Like that's not, you know now more about how to present to them and how you're going to create value specifically to them. There are a bunch of other questions on here as well. I think all of them are good. So make sure you dial into these. One of my favorites is the last one too. What are some of your other vendors? I make it a point to know all of my vendors in my space, and when they say the vendor name, it tells me everything, right? Like they say, oh, we got Sherry Holloway Photography. I know they just spent $4,500 on a photography at the minimum package. So I know they've got money to spend, right? I know that they're here to do some business, and they're here to make sure that experience is really powerful, or at minimum, photography is really important to them. Ask tons of questions. Make a connection. Really dial in to feeling them. So here's the deal. I don't know if you guys know this, we're all human.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yes.
Just checking. They're not dollar bills. They're humans. Turns out, wild. And you know what clients really want more than a DJ? They want somebody who's in their corner on their big day. They want somebody who's going to be there to make sure that their needs are absolutely taken care of in every way. They want to make sure that that person is rooting for them, and that they're making sure that event is flawless for them. What does that take? Connection. How are you going to know what they need if you're not connected to them? You're not. Make a connection. So when I'm having that conversation, I'm asking a lot of questions. I try in every way to find ways to connect with them on a deeper level. They say, oh yeah, we're from St. Louis. Oh cool, you know I DJed in St. Louis for 5 years. My office was in Grief Grove. Where are you guys located? What are you doing up there? Oh, you're at Barnes Jewish? That's so awesome. I work very hard to try to make those levels of connection about music, about life and lifestyle, about all those things. And first of all, that's also giving me data about whether or not I'm a good fit for them. I'm looking for that in that conversation too, but it's helping me to connect with them more powerfully. And as I connect with them, first of all, they're gonna come to trust me in a much more powerful way, and that trust is everything. That trust is going to let them be more comfortable setting you free to do the magic that you do. Does that make sense? No? Okay, cool. Feed and return. The last thing about learning your client. Basically, when you ask those questions, I kind of said it already. I call it feed and return. I don't know. I'm sure there's a better sales technology for this, but when you ask all those questions, they are giving you the data that you're going to turn around and present to them later in the conversation, right? As long as it fits your company model, right? If they're telling me, I want you to bring. I had a client. I'm never going to forget this. I had an Indian client who led the conversation. I was asking all the questions, and he said, "Yeah, my friend just got married on Chicago Navy Pier, and he rode in on an elephant." And I was like, "I don't have an elephant, bro." And I just told him straight up, he really, it was kind of like crutching on that. I'm like, "Bro, I don't have an elephant. That's not for me," right? So at least it helped me to know that as I'm asking all those questions, I'm getting the data that I need to present back to them what they're wanting from their events. That's feed and return. Take that, run with that. I mentioned a second ago about the CO2 cannons. That's feed and return. I think they told me they wanted to chill in it. Why the fuck would I present CO2 cannons? That doesn't make sense, right? So instead, I'm going to present our jazz trio from our cocktail hour. That's a cool, fun, vibey type of thing for a more chill event. Does that make sense? Think about how you're presenting to them and get them the thing that's going to curate the experience that they want, the vision they want. That's learning your client. If you're not doing that, talk to me afterwards. I'll smack you, because that is the most basic thing about being a multi-op, not being a single op, but being a clarify your why. This one is the most important one. I want to spend the most time here. Clarify your why. This is everything. Anybody know Simon Sinek?
Yes.
Two people? 3 people? Great. People don't buy what you do. People buy why you do it. There are in Los Angeles, there are literally 1,000 DJs. Why would they pick you? Is it price? There are price points all over the place. Is that what it is? No. It's your why. It's your story. It's what you believe. That's what people are going to connect and resonate. And this goes very deep. This is actually scientific, biological, crazy stuff. People are more concerned about what you believe. That's why we have organizations. That's why we have political parties. I'm not going to talk about that. That's why we have all these things. People want to be connected to a movement. People want to be connected to an idea. I actually tell our team regularly, Elevate is not a company. Elevate's an idea. Elevate's a lifestyle. Elevate's a mentality. It's a movement. And when you kind of dial it in that way, and you learn to talk about it that way, the right people, the people who believe like you, are going to buy into it. They're going to figure it. They're going to find it. You're going to find you, and they're going to come after you running. So don't start with what you do. Start with why you do it. So let's do this for a second. You're here for a reason. Why did you start being a DJ? Or why did you start a DJ company? Or why did you start an entertainment company? Why? You don't have to answer it out loud. I want you to reflect for a second. Why? And what makes your gift different? And how does it enrich people's lives? You guys gotta dial into this. Actually, here's the first one is probably my favorite question. If money didn't exist, if money wasn't part of this picture, why would you DJ? Would you continue DJing? And if so, why? If money wasn't an issue.
Can you go back to the last slide?
I can. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Not at the bus stop.
I want to ask, anybody feel like they're comfortable? Daniel, you go by Dan or Daniel?
Whatever you wish. Both.
I want to call you what you like to be called.
Daniel is my professional name.
All right, Daniel.
Sure.
I happen to know you're in a lot of life coaching and coaching stuff. Tell me, do you know your why?
I do.
I would like for you to share it.
Can I actually have it written down. Can I read it?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. All right. The purpose of my life is to be fully vibrant and exuberant through honesty, care, and giving value unconditionally, and to inspire, contribute, and transfer my energy and passion to others so that they can be more fulfilled, love more openly, and focus on the beauty of life.
I love it. Hey, can we give a round of applause for that? I've known he's been into life coaching and life coaching on that for a while, so I knew he'd have that answer. I knew he would. This is everything, though. If you haven't wrestled with not just your personal why, but also your company why. Your company's here for a reason. Why? Why? That's what customers want to know. They're going to come to you asking what questions, but that's because clients are stupid. Sorry, that was offensive. The clients don't know what to ask. They've never planned a wedding before. Emily Smith did such a great job the other day of really pointing out that clients have no fucking idea what they're doing, right? They just pick random budgets, because why not? Okay, 20,000 sounds great. They don't know what any item costs, and it's our job to help them with that. What they may be asking you, what questions? What do you do? How do you do that? What they want to know is why you do it. I promise you. Start there and then fizzle back out to your how, and if need be, your what. Most of the time in my sales presentations, I actually don't even talk about what. I don't. I just talk about why and how. That's it. That's what people want to know. Because people want to be connected to. And usually that builds so much trust that they're already in. They can't help themselves. They want to be. So, the company that does phenomenal, and Simon Sinek, of course, this is the one he presents, Apple, right? People literally wait in line for 2 days for the new Apple to come out. They will stand in the cold and in the rain to wait for this new iPhone to come out that has literally 2 fucking upgrades. Than the one that's sitting on the shelf at $500 less in the store right now. Why? It's not because they're fanatics about the 2 upgrades. It's because they're diehard believers in the why of Apple. And they don't even know that, right? Like, they don't even know that that's actually what they're connected to, but that is what they're connected to. Is the why, the belief system of Apple. They feel like they resonate. It's called a lifestyle brand. Their lifestyle feels like Apple's lifestyle. They don't understand even what that means, but that's what that is. They resonate with it, right? And so your brand can represent that as well. It should represent that. What your brand says should represent your why. It should look like your why. Right? Like if you want a high-end luxury brand because you want to serve high-end clients, dope, go for it. Don't have a brand that's Uncle Joe Schmo's DJ company, because ain't no luxury client gonna buy Uncle Joe Schmo's DJ company. Like, that's not a good brand name, right? Like, so build a brand that communicates your why as well, and then be clear in communicating your why as you do it. Everybody's overwhelmed because what is why? So I'm gonna talk about mine really quick. I'm actually gonna skip forward one. I'm going to move forward to this value statement. This is really important. This is Elevate's value statement. We believe that every individual person has incredible intrinsic God-given value, and because of that, should be treated with utmost dignity, respect, and honor. As an experience creation company, we are not a DJ company. As an experience creation company, we believe that every honored client we serve deserves the very best experience we can possibly craft with our services for their special event. In short, we believe that the currency we have, or the effect we have on others, is the most valuable currency we have. That's a Jim Carrey quote, in case you're wondering. That is the most core underlying belief. We believe people are valuable. There it is. Oh, and we built an experience creation company on top of that. Did you see that? Apple, same thing. We believe in making products that are really user-friendly and easy to use. We want to make people's lives easier. And we're a technology company. We build technology hardware and software. Interesting, isn't it? There's a why that's underneath the surface. We just haven't known it the whole time, but they communicate it in everything. When you look at the back of a MacBook, can you turn this around just for a second? If you look at the back of a MacBook, look how simple this is, right? Look how simple this is. It's just one logo, but you know, it's simple. What's that saying? We're going to create things that are simple for you. That's saying that just in that logo right there. And so everything your company does needs to reflect that why, that set of values. Our key themes I'm going to skip, but I will skip back to our mission statement really quick. And then we built our mission statement on top of that. It's to inspire and entertain clients and guests to come fully alive in celebration of a special moment by creating unique, powerful, engaging, unforgettable experiences that perfectly reflect our clients' vision and personalities at every single event. That was a mouthful, but every word's important. I'm going to go through it really quick. To inspire. I'm not here to entertain, I'm here to inspire. I want you to come to life. What does that mean? I want you to be present. I want you to lose focus on all the other responsibilities you have in your life to be with. In a celebration of a special moment, so every event we do tends to be a very special moment, whether it's a holiday party for a corporate or wedding or birthday or whatever, it tends to always be a special moment. Creating unique, powerful, engaging, and forgettable experiences, that's the style we typically approach. We're not the push-play DJs, that's just not how we do it. And then perfectly reflect our client's vision. So we try to very hard to customize every event to our client's specific vision an idea for their event so that we're crafting their event. And we don't have a cookie cutter way of how we DJ. That's on purpose, and it requires us to teach a lot in the training process, but I would rather us be able to approach every event powerfully than just some. And so that's worked really well. That's our mission statement. So you may be asking, Broc, so you're saying that my why is just my mission statement? The answer is no. Actually, I would say that our why is actually found there in our values. That every client we serve has incredible intrinsic value. That's our why. We want to show you deserve the most powerful experience ever because it's the most important day of your life and we believe you deserve it to be awesome. That's our why. We talk about that at the beginning. And I'll say that, and then I'll pretty quickly go into our how not long after that. But I want them to feel our why. I want them to feel the way I communicate. I want them to feel it in our brand. I want them to feel all of those things. So I'm pretty well beating this with dead horse. If you don't know your why, you're missing it. Clients want to know your why. That's what they're going to buy. Everybody good? Cool. So self-reflect. If you don't know your why, now's the time to ask it. And are you accomplishing it? And if so, how? Is your how accomplishing your why in this situation? Present your why. Be clear. Be efficient. Say it very concisely if you can. And then if need be, rebrand. If your brand does not reflect your why, rebrand. Yeah, let's go. Just fix it. From that, move on to your worth. Now that you know your why, and you know that you provide it, you know you create that value, you communicated the value, you know you create that value, now we need to know your worth. So you need to know who you're talking to, who your client is, and what you produce, and put your worth on it. And this is going to be based on a few things, obviously.
Can you go back?
Yes. This is going to be based, obviously, on a few things. Do you want to do 100 weddings a year, or do you want to do 5? That'll also make a difference in your worth. That doesn't make a difference in your worth. It'll make a difference in the number that you sell yourself at. That's not your worth. Your worth is the cumulative amount that you make in a year, right? Your worth is, that's what you're producing as total. So you need to determine what your worth is. A little rule I like to follow is the 10% rule. If you can lift your prices 10% without losing 10% of your customers, why haven't you done that? You're saying that I can work less and make more. I don't know why you haven't done that. So as long as this is the case, if you can look at your numbers and say, hey, yeah, I really feel like I can lift my prices 10% more and not lose 10% of my customers, you need to keep lifting your price till you kind of get to that point where it's like, no, I think if I lift my price much more, I'm gonna lose well more than 10% of my clients. That is the moment that you kind of like, okay, I'm feeling like I'm right in this round. I can determine that in that case. Cool. All right, last thing, systematize your process. Why did the E drop? That's weird. Let's roll with it. Systematize your process. So now you have figured out how to communicate your why, you've become very effective, and now we have to figure out how to communicate that en masse. And that becomes much more challenging. This was a very scary moment for me in my career because I had to turn up the reins, and now I basically do none of our sales, which is unbelievable to me. Here are 3 things that I really implemented to help me in my scaling process with systematizing. Create a sales structure. This takes some work. You need to sit down, you need to design a sales structure. Here in a second, I'm going to give you mine. So that'll hopefully give you a head start. But you need to create a sales structure. Streamline and then teach it. We actually have a sales training twice a year, maybe 3 times a year. We have sales training for our team, and that's open. We invite all of our team. We want all of our DJs to know how to sell. When they're at the event, at the end of the event, when that couple comes up and they're like, oh my God, you killed it. I want them to know exactly what to say in that moment. And so we teach them our sales process. We do, absolutely. Quality control checks. So check in. Like, hey, if you hire somebody, how are they doing with their sales process? If you teach the team, how are they doing? Sit on one, or have them record a call that they do with a client and just listen. Quality control, how's that going? And then finally, expectation setting. See, I love this because you'll know if you're doing great sales if the reviews come back after the event really well. You get flawless reviews after the event. That means the sales process did a really bang-up job setting good expectations about your company. That's what that means. If you're starting to see not good reviews, then you might want to ask yourself, A, if I'm creating the quality and the value that I said before, or B, if the salesperson is maybe over-promising and causing it to be very difficult for your DJ to deliver. That's another place. So watch those reviews, watch the feedback that's coming in. That'll tell you everything. I'm really proud of our company. I think we've had, I kid you not, maybe out of 700 events, maybe 4 this year, maybe 5, maybe 4 or 5 total reviews that came back in any way, shape, or form less than flawless. And that means that my sales team is crushing. That means my sales team is setting those expectations really well. In fact, possibly setting the bar slightly low because our DJs are being able to over-deliver in that scenario. So I'm gonna we did Systematize. I created a sales process for our team to understand, and this is it. Feel free to take a picture of this slide. It's called Learn Why We Rock. Learn Why We Rock. This is a 4-step sales process for my team to know. Learn why we rock. Step 1, learn. That's where we ask all the questions to the client, right? I want to know everything. Spending 20 minutes at least asking all the questions. I want to know you guys. Step 2, why? Share our why. Share our company why. And tell your story. Tell your story. Not the company story. Tell your story. How'd you come to be part of Elevate? And why are you here? Because you're here for a reason. And I push all of my team to know their why. Why are they doing this? Share that. And then this one's kind of weird because we is not a very profound word, but it's the best I could come up with in this scenario. We have 2 goals for every event. Share them. Okay, so I'm going to tell you our 2 goals. I deliberated on whether or not to do this, but I'm going to tell you, our 2 goals are this. Goal 1, our clients get to sit back, relax, and enjoy it. We help run the event for them. We're going to tag team with that wedding planner. We're going to make sure everything's flawless. We're going to see things that behind the scenes are running. We're not the DJ who just stands behind the booth the whole time. I want to make sure everything's taken care of. I will literally be up getting my clients drinks throughout the night. Like, I don't care. It's their day. I'm there to show them they're valuable. DJing is not the only medium for me to show them they're valuable. Getting them drinks can be. And the other goal is that we want you and your guests to literally make one of the best memories of your life at that event. The way we do this is by customizing each experience. I know that if I can craft that experience to match the vision and the design and the idea that the clients have in their head, that their guests are going to walk away going, wow, that really felt like them. I felt so connected to them. That was so powerful. That felt like Jack and Jill. And I loved that. And they're going to remember that for years and years to come. And that's proving extremely successful for us. I had a client, I kid you not, this past fall that booked me because he saw me at a wedding 10 years ago. The dude was 15 when he saw me at the wedding. And he told his bride, I want to pick only one thing. I want the DJ. You can pick everything else. I want one DJ, and that's Broc. And that's what he picked. 10 years later, it was mind-blowing to me. That's success in my opinion. And then finally, Broc. Broc means the hard details. You do have to present price. I don't know if you guys know this. You will have to talk about price at some point, but I like that to be at the end. I like to communicate all the value up front, and by the time we get to the numbers, it's like, oh yeah, geez, that's cheaper than I thought it was going to be, or that obviously makes sense. So you have to present the hard data at that point. It obviously is stacked at the very beginning. That's not to say you couldn't present, again, ranges at the beginning, but don't present the really firm hard data until the end. That is Learn Why We Rock, and I teach that again to all of our team members. Also, as you begin to scale, find high capacity people. Live in your strengths. Don't live in your weaknesses, okay? So live in your strengths. I happen to be good at selling, but I noticed on my team that I had somebody else that was also really phenomenal at selling. His name's Denny. He's actually the guy in the picture. He's our sales manager, one of our DJs on our team. He's in the back recording me right now. And Denny is stellar. He's a sales machine. He gets people. He gets listening to people and connecting and empathizing with people on a profound level. Find those kinds of people and put them in the key positions in your company. I'll tell you a secret. The best salespeople are people who believe in the product. They don't have to be have all the tricks up their sleeve. Actually, I've got a funny story. There's a girl on our team. Her name is Kaylee, and she's super cute. She's 19, really unassuming. Not necessarily shy, but she's also not very outspoken per se. And she's one of the best salespeople on our team. She is so good at it because A, she's been with us long enough that she understands how things work, but B, she actually just really believes in it. She really believes in it. And she's so unassuming. People don't even know they're being sold to by her. She's so good at it. We'll go to an event where she'll be selling alongside, and she will consistently lead the pack in sales. She believes in the product. Best salespeople believe in the product. Fat model of leadership. Let me tell you, the first screen that I have for hiring anybody on my team, especially leadership, is the fat model. Anybody know what the fat model of leadership is? Yeah, Denny, of course. Faithful, available, teachable. These are my 3 big non-negotiables. I'll rate them as I'm listening to them talk in their interview. I'll rate them on these 3 things. Are you faithful? Are you going to be faithful? Can I tell you're going to be faithful to this company? Available. Is your schedule open? Are you going to make yourself available? Teachable. And are you moldable? If you're not teachable, I want you on my team, because our company's growing so fast, like, I need you to be adaptable, teachable, something that we might want to put you in a different position for. Like, I need you to be able to do that. If you score low on any of those things, bye. You're not coming on this team. That's all I hire in that particular regard is leaders on our team. That's a big thing for me. And especially if you're thinking about putting them in a prominent position like a sales position or a managerial position, they absolutely need to embody these things very powerfully. Then we also do things like we look at the Enneagram and also the Strengths Finder to assess kind of how their personality is going to engage. I'll tell you, the best DJs are usually 2s and 7s. 2s and 7s kill it every time. Extroverted 2s and 7s on the Enneagram work really well. 7s are enthusiasts. Who asked me that? 7s are enthusiasts. 2s are helpers. Those two, combination of those two things tend to work really well. And the Strengths Finder, a good salesperson, if they have the talent called woo, winning others over, they usually show up really well. So put them through some of these things, find those high capacity people and put them in the right places in your company, and be willing to trust that they can go forward communicating the message of your company effectively. Finally, as you scale, and this possibly might be the most important thing, as you scale, don't lose your why. That's how you become corporate. And people don't want corporate. Quick question. HP or Apple? Which one do you like better?
Apple.
Would anybody say they like HP better?
Krieger. He's here.
Krieger. Get him out of here. Krieger. This guy. HP versus Apple. Why? Apple has a more presented why. They haven't lost their why in their growth. I feel like HP, maybe they have their why, but they're not communicating it well. I don't feel connected to HP in any way, shape, or form. I feel connected to Apple. I don't even have an iPhone, but I feel connected to Apple because they're so good at presenting their why. Make yourself that way. As you continue to grow and scale, make sure that your team is so good at communicating your why, whether they're at events, whether they're just out in public, whether they're selling to clients. This is what's going to make sure that as you expand, your close ratio goes through the roof. This is what's causing us to see our close ratio hang out at 80% on presented events. It's powerful. Finally, last thing, a little challenge. I want to remind you of something. You are powerful. You are not a DJ. You are an incredible creative energy. And you're here for a reason. You're here to make a difference through what you do. You, in your own regard, change the world. I want you to dial into that. When you're dialed into that and you know it, people around you will know it. People you're selling to, they'll know it. And you will be powerful. I'm Broc. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I do coaching as well. If you guys are interested in maybe some leadership coaching or sales coaching in any way, shape, or form, feel free to look me up. My website's there at the bottom, brocbarton.com. If you would like me to send you these slides, you can absolutely reach out to me. We'll just do my regular email address is broc@elevatedentertainment.com, broc@elevatedentertainment.com. Or see me afterwards. I'll stand in the back and we can have a conversation about that. I appreciate you guys. Questions and answers really quick. We got about 17 minutes.
Not related, but did you DJ the July 4th what's that again?
Is it, you talking about
Branson?
Branson? Yeah, that was me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was
Where's that guy?
33,000 people that night. That was wild. And it came up afterwards. They were like, "Gotta have you back." And then I had this wild moment. They had a band there, like the headliner band, big band. I talked to the band afterwards. Was shocked to find out that they paid me well more than they paid that band. Don't tell the band I said that. I don't know how you know that. Don't tell the band I said that.
Yeah, I was there. I was on vacation there, and I saw you. It's like, that's the bun booth.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Posted a photo of you. And I was like, John, I want to meet you.
Oh,
Here you
that's
are.
good. I love it. I
Let's
love
talk
it. Other questions?
Great job, man.
Thank you, bro.
Good question, brother. I love this topic. Yeah, and just one thing I just wanted to almost share regarding the authenticity piece. I think that was it. Where I like the conversations that go off into like bonding over the same destination vacation, and you love the paella in Spain, and you spend 5 minutes there.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
just allow that to happen.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we might get stuck in like, oh, I gotta get through the sales process and da 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 da. But it's those paella bonding moments in that 5 minutes of going way off track that they're so gonna bond with you beyond. So just give yourself permission to go down those fun, passionate rabbit holes, because it's unlikely they'll have those bonded experiences with others that they speak with.
Hell yeah. I literally couldn't agree more. In fact, I want to just piggyback on that. I'd like to say it this way. If all we did was business, then we missed it. Fuck, I won't care when I'm 90 if I did business. I mean, obviously I want to make sure I keep food on the table, but just like, that's not what's going to be important to me. What I will care about is that I make a difference and that I have good connections with people. And that person might become your best friend. Some of my clients have become some of my best friends. It's wild. But it's because I allowed those moments to happen. And then it just kept growing from there. And also, they're now some of our biggest raving fans. They talk about us all the time now. Thank you for presenting that.
I feel super pumped. What an awesome presentation.
Oh, good.
So how do you connect with someone emotionally and then go and chase with your DJ? Not me.
Oh, great question.
So what's the difference between that? Because for selling me, this is perfect.
Mhm.
But for selling my DJ, it's like, oh wait,
Mhm.
I want you, Cooper. You
Mhm.
know. So how do you do that?
So good. There's kind of two answers to that question. One is we on our team do have a tiered sales process, a tiered product. So we have what we call premium DJs, elite DJs, and exclusive DJs. I am the only exclusive DJ on our team at this point. And so they can kind of choose, but it obviously creates a connection issue at that point, but that's okay because they're gonna have to adapt their budget. And I would say that because I presented the why, and I made it very clear that our team is a religion for us, it spans the entirety of our team. We'll follow up with that if they want to have a conversation with a different DJ. Like we'll show them some DJs on our team. If they want to have a conversation with that DJ, totally cool. And at that point, it's just a hop-on quick interview. It's like literally less than 10 minutes at that point because they already know how they're going to work. They already know the why. It's just a quick, oh yeah, this guy's legit. Let's go with it. That's really truly all it is. The second thing is we actually allow our DJs to be also sales members. So I do have a sales manager. Ding's our sales manager, but we have Five. Oh shit. I don't know. 5 other DJs on our team. 5 other, not just DJs, performers. We also have self-premier hosts. Other performers on our team who we allow to do sales as well. So that also diversifies and allows them to make the direct connections as well in that process. This is a great question.
How do you structure that as far as compensation? So are they as like an hourly employee as far as sales go? Or do they get compensated?
Just an hourly employee. So we have a rate that we never go below. There's no person on my team that ever makes less than $15 an hour. It's just a rule for me. And so when they're selling, it's just hourly. When they're performing, it's significantly more, and it is based on their sort of proven track record of growth.
Commission on the close?
Not unless it's a generated.
Got it.
Yeah, so I don't want them to, again, I don't want them setting the expectations wrong, and that can make somebody too hungry. If they believe in the product, they're gonna sell it like it deserves to be sold, and that's showing at this point. So no, I don't commission that unless they've generated. What that means is somebody saw them at an event and were like, fuck, I gotta book Noah. They call in, I wanna book Noah. Noah, you gotta leave, call him. And because he generated that attention, we didn't have to do anything for it, he gets a percentage of the total of the sale.
I love you, man. You know that.
Yeah, I love you, Tom.
Your energy is awesome. Personally, can you speak on? I know you're into a lot of like personal self-development things. Where do you get your energy from?
Boy, I wasn't ready for that question. That's a great question.
Besides the bun booths.
I love the bum booth.
And Zip Fizz.
And Zip Fizz, yeah, so I live on Zip. Zip Fizz is my energy drink of choice. If you've never had it, it will change your life. I drink one before every show. But that's not the answer he's looking for. The answer to where I get my energy is actually really truly being dialed in on my why. Being dialed in on what I believe about people, what I believe about the world around me. Really drives me forward. And so like I'm fired up to be seeing other people fired up and making a difference. I believe I'm powerful and I believe everybody else in the room is powerful, and that drives me. Like drives me so hard to encourage them to let that come out and really make a difference in the world around them. So I guess dialing into that piece of me is really what creates the majority of my energy. I just really believe in it, and because I believe in it, it keeps me fired up. Yeah, good question. I'm gonna think more about that. That was a really good question. Did you have a question?
I was just gonna ask, what are your biggest challenges as far as getting past like scaling, as far as like pricing and stuff? Like, because I know you said you're in a market where it's really low, but like, how do you plan on basically like taking that to the next level? Like, like breaking down that barrier.
Yeah, so I believe that our company is the company that educates the market, and so we're teaching the market that the $700 DJ is shit. And so, but we have to do that slowly. You don't yank somebody up. You kind of ease them up with you, right? And so when we came into the market, we came in at, actually, I think when we first came into the market in 2018 with multiple DJs, we came in at $895, moved it up to $995. Now we're at $1,100, and we're just systematically notching that up to help teach the market, like, hey, if you want a good DJ, now we're by far the largest DJ company in our area, the largest entertainment company in our area. Now, if you want good, you need to pay for good. And so I guess to answer your question, just kind of like educating the market, helping them to see how to move forward. Thank you. I've got 10 minutes left. What other questions you have? Yep.
You mentioned you scaled, really fast over the last 5 years. What are some tips or tricks as far as from a capital standpoint that you use in order to invest in your company?
Great question. I might not be the best person to answer that because I have never allowed our company to run in the red. Never. It's never once run in the red. I've always kept it in the black. I will say, maybe the one trick that has worked for me is I have personally taken a relatively modest salary over time because I've allowed the remainder of that to go back into the company. And so even now, CEO over 8 brands, $1 million+ company, and I still only pay myself $60,000 a year. I think that's enough. I feel like that's enough, and I can live on that and be happy. So that's been my helpful thing. I don't have any other well, I guess we did just open up a line of credit with a bank that allows us access to capital if we need it. We haven't used it yet, but that's another trick, I suppose.
Do you provide all the gear, or are your DJs?
We own all the gear. We do all the training. Most of the DJs who join our team have never been a DJ before.
Employee or contractors?
Employees. Yeah, I don't do contractors. Zero contractors.
So how do you build this a culture to get your DJs to be such rabid rock fans?
I think it's the same thing. I think it's the belief system. We work very hard to have a culture that is that way. What was your name one more time? Gabriel. I heard Gabriel talking about how their company culture is a family. I think ours is too. I think everybody in our team would say that they feel like they're seen there and that they're important.
How?
A variety of different ways. It's more than one thing. I think we talk about our beliefs. We hang out regularly. So every week we have a thing called, and I really recommend this, by the way, we have a thing called team co-working time. We take 2.5, 3 hours, I don't remember, out of a week every week. It's a designated time at a designated place, a coffee shop, and everybody's welcome to come and elevate pays for everybody's coffee or drink, whatever they want. You come and you just hang out and you work together. And we'll have 12 of our employees come, just hang out with us. Just sit, work. They don't have to work on elevate stuff. They can just work on whatever. But it's kind of this social co-working experience that helps drive up some experience there. We also believe in work hard, play hard. So that means basically we work hard and we all work solo. Basically everybody does their gig solo. But then we regularly have events together as well. They had a big Halloween party that was chaos. I dressed up as old Greg, don't tell anybody. And we had a big lake trip. I just got a bunch of money for a couple boats for us to all hang out, have a great time on the lake. I show them, and then I also pay them well. I think for our market especially, we pay them really well and work hard to understand where they are in their life and serve them in a way that they are going to be better than when we met them. I think if you can show them that you're doing that, you're gonna have people who are diehard for you. Like they're not going to go anywhere. What's the Richard Branson quote? I love it. Find people who don't need to be a part of your company, but treat them so well that they want to be. Does that make sense? Like have them where they have so much value that they could probably go off and create their own, but they don't want to.
What's well? How much is well?
So for our company, the starting rate it comes out to basically $25 an hour at the start of performing.
And what's the highest?
The highest. That's kind of hard to answer. The highest minimum rate that it comes out to would be basically just shy of, actually just over $50 an hour.
Do they log their hours for client meetings and their preparation time, or is it just performance time they're getting paid for? And like literally delivery setup time, or what are we talking about there?
We expect in the delivery wage, we expect them to do one client meeting. Yeah. Everything else outside of that might be extra, we do pay them for. Mm-hmm.
So I'm coming from like the two personal class,
Mhm.
right? I want to expand. Can you talk about like what type of collateral or what type of like how are you prepping the client for the sales call, and then what type of material or information are you giving them afterwards to get a really nice seamless experience, not just on the call, but before and after?
Mm. You know, actually, we don't. I heard somebody talking the other day that was really awesome that they send out like podcasts before the sales call and stuff like that. I think that's awesome. We don't, and maybe I feel maybe convicted that that's not a very good. That's not as good as it could be. Let's put it that way. And so right now, honestly, they have our website, they have the referrals that they come from, they have our socials, all of those things. Once they submit a lead, we respond to them within 24 hours. That's a really big deal to us. Within 24 hours, we're coming at them. We do have some autoresponder emails and things like that just to let them know we got their stuff. Really for us, the trick is to just get to them as quickly as possible. So great question. And then once they do book, we do have a pretty hefty what we call drip campaign that comes at them, kind of giving them some tips and tricks on how to plan their event. Gives them some various bonus information. It drops a few extra services in there, so like they want to upgrade, or I forgot I need to add a photo booth or something like that, right? It adds that in there too, and so just helping them to understand here's some ways to be thinking about how to plan for your DJ in the long run. Yeah, but that's only after they book.
I can always talk it over there.
What's-
Nails I pull out.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
When your leads aren't booking you, are you ensuring that they need the DJ that they're event, or are some okay with like,
It's about 50-50.
we trust you?
It's about 50-50. Some of them want to talk to a DJ. We'll show them, and we'll schedule them to have a conversation with that DJ. Usually it's just a phone conversation, just to be honest. And again, that's usually only 10-15 minutes. And then half of them are like, I just trust the company. I know you guys are going to produce. It's clear. And that's partially because of where we sit in the market. Like nobody's touching what we're doing. So it's not like they're going to get a better DJ anywhere else anyway. So that's partially why that is. I think if we were in a more competitive market, we would probably do more of presenting other DJs. So great question. Back.
Are you where are you spending your time as a founder? From a visionary growth perspective. Where's your leads coming in from? Are you working on strategic partnerships, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So that has been a very transformative question for this year. I have had to move myself around quite a bit this year. Now I sit in a role where all I do is development, and I do DJ, obviously, but I focus on development of new brands and basically steering the ship of the company. I don't do anything else at this point. So even you talked about strategic partnerships. We have a guy on our team that actually helps navigate strategic partnerships. I might jump in because my name is pretty well known, but really that's not my role. My role is to see to it that I'm seeing the company to the next 5 years.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that was really hard. By the way, I will tell you, when you get to that point, that's a lot of letting go. It's a lot of trust. And I will tell you actually one of the secret moments for me. The moment that I decided that Elevate wasn't mine, that's the moment it all broke loose. Because up until that moment, I was trying to fucking do everything. I was trying to hang on to everything. Like, is this doing okay? And I'm calling everybody, is this okay? Is this okay? Is this? And I was trying to do all these things. And man, it was devastating my own personal health. And the day I decided that, man, Elevate's bigger than me. It's bigger than anything I ever wanted it to be. I'm just gonna I'm gonna set it free. I'm gonna let it become what it is. And the team jumped in at that point and I don't even understand how we got to 700 events a year, guys. That number is unreal to me. I only personally do about 40, so where are the other 660? I don't understand that. So that's the moment. You have to let go of everything. CEOing is about letting go of everything and just navigating the ship in general.
Since you brought that up, I'm in that position where I am losing my mind basically, especially this last year with taking on so many responsibilities, you know, short staff, delivering equipment. How did you make that transition? Because right now I'm trying to, you know, find maybe someone that sets up and breaks down, someone handling the office again. Where do you suggest to like? Because it's
one word:
challenge.
delegate. Delegate the fuck out of everything. Like you delegate. What is your role in the company? What do you need to be doing? What does the company need you to be doing?
Same,
I'm asking the question.
I need to be creative and be able to. I do a lot of the sales, and so I love the sales. I want to continue the sales, but I don't want to program photo booths. I don't want to create designs. I don't want to set up photo booths or set up equipment. I want.
Okay. So hire an operations manager, a graphic designer, and a strike crew. Get them all. Do it. Like get what you need. Do it on a part-time basis if it needs to be on a part-time basis at first. Just get people you trust. Use the faithful, available, teachable model, and then teach them. And let them continue to help you scale. And as you scale and you continue to scale, eventually you're going to need full-time. That's going to happen. Our company in 2 weeks will be up to 7 full-time employees. Guys, that's scary. It's a rattling number. You have to let go. Otherwise, you're just going to continue drowning. And you already have that awareness, and it's affecting your health, your mental health, your emotional health. Bro, don't do that. Like, you're here to live, not make a living. You're here to live. Live. We are out of time. I'd love to chat with you maybe afterwards if that's okay. I apologize. I wanted to honor the time. So guys, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you.